From the mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov.
All right, maybe chalk this up to all wishful thinking, but I think with the new Sphere release, the new DLX and LX series mics, I think Universal Audio is trying to tell us something about the future of what they're going to offer us. Now, first and foremost, you're listening to the Bronner VM1 TLM103 combo, which I absolutely love. I used it on a Microsoft gig, actually just yesterday, and I really dig it. So these are absolutely, like I've said ad nauseum, these are absolutely the two best sounding large diaphragm condenser microphone models in the Sphere collection by my estimation. And, having really tinkered with this mic quite a bit, the Sphere L22, the Townsend Sphere L22, which has been confirmed is exactly the same as the DLX, except this has a 10 and 20 dB pad. So if you even use the pad, but for VO, you'll never use it. So don't worry about it. So, what was I even saying? So I think that with the release of these new Sphere models, right, the TLM103 and the Bronner, they're showing us the next level in mic modeling capture. I think what we're seeing is the influence of Universal Audio's stewardship over the whole Townsend Sphere microphone, oeuvre. So the whole thing really, I think, tells me that they are investing in this microphone's future, because obviously if they're going to release the DLX as a complete, the completely same mic as the L22, as the old school original L22 Sphere. They're telling us that there is a future path for this particular physical microphone in this system, and that this upward path will hopefully include more microphone models. I would love to see the Manley reference mic, the Manley Gold mic. UA has a relationship with Manley, the hardware pieces, the Vox box and stuff that they already model. So, hopefully that'll extend also into Manley's microphones and maybe Gefell and who knows what else. But I do feel like this is a strong indication that there will be more to come for the Sphere series down the road, which is good. Because anybody who's invested in it, I feel like you can feel absolutely safe that this is going to be an integral part of what Universal Audio is planning to do in their whole microphone line. But beyond that, the other thing that I think is going to happen, because if you look on the forums, if you read the forums about the Sphere mic going back to when it first came out, so we're talking about years of this same conversation happening ad nauseum on the over at UAD forum and at other forums. But the confusion over the fact that in console you have to put the Sphere plugin after Unison seems to be a real mind bender for a lot of people. And the truth is, the Sphere was designed to work this way. What people are like, well, should I put my preamp sim, my SSL, my Neve 88RS in the slot after the Sphere and not in Unison? And the answer to that is no, because Unison interacts with the microphone at the physical level, like at the electrical level. Changing impedances and really changing the behavior of how the interface sees the microphone. So adding the emulation to that is really, in a way, it's basically like if you're making PB&J and do you want to put the peanut butter first or the jelly first, you end up with the same thing. So realistically, it doesn't make a humongous difference putting the modeling after the preamp, but it does make a huge difference in the optics of it. And I think that's a big problem for Universal Audio, and especially for Drew over at Universal Audio, who has to answer this question on a near daily basis. And I think what he has alluded to on uadforum.com is that there may be a change coming that, doesn't necessarily reflect a change in the path, the signal path, but at least in the visual way it's represented on screen. So he has alluded to this more than once. So I believe that with the official Universal Audio release of the Sphere, what we're going to see and this is again just based on wishful thinking, a little bit of speculation, a teaspoonful of knowledge, is I think we're definitely going to see an upgrade to UAD console at Namm. I think it'll be announced. I don't know when it'll come out. Hopefully it'll come out around the same time. But I think that we're going to see an update to console that will allow you to place the Sphere plugin before Unison, so that way at least you can more easily wrap your brain around the concept of how this all works together. So I think if they're going to do that, I really feel like at some point, and hopefully it'll happen this year, but I think we're going to see a major upgrade to Apollo in general. I think we're going to see UAD 3, and maybe this year, maybe down the road. And I have a feeling, and this again is based upon a few years ago, there was a listing over at Universal Audio for jobs. And this was part of like this whole thing, like me trying to sleuth out when Luna came out, well, like what Luna was going to be, et cetera, et cetera. And there was a job listing at Universal Audio going back pre-Luna's release for it was a specific job for a processing engineer, somebody who knew how to work with with the processing, the next generation of really audio processing, so that really the idea of replacing these outdated Shark chips that are in the Universal Audio hardware, all these little tiny cores that barely run any plugins on them. The bane of our existence are these cores and relying on these cores for DSP. So I think that there is going to be some kind of update. And now that we have Universal Audio releasing native plugins, and now that we have computers that are really fast enough to run a bunch of native plugins, I think we're going to see a hybrid system where you're going to have Universal Audio UAD 3 implementing a lot of native usage, but also a little bit of back-end DSP to help you, especially cutting live. So I think that we're going to definitely see that as the premier Universal Audio offering for professionals and for people who are really serious about it. We're going to see this tier of new interfaces that will all run, and I think it'll all run the old software, all the old plugins. So you're not going to have to. I would hope that they wouldn't make us renew or repurchase all our plugins. But there will probably be a better, improved system, and it might sound better. The new plug-in models may be upgraded to sound better converters, but I think we're going to see a next generation Apollo. And I'm hoping we see it at Namm this year, UAD 3. And again, I think it'll run native plugins alongside DSP run plugins at the same time as UAD moves more towards offering their entire library in a native plugin format. So anyway, that's like 8 minutes of me like not stopping to to take a breath. But that's what I think. That's what I think, and that's what I hope. It's a combination of hopes and dreams and aspirations, and maybe someday I can have a pony. So who knows? What do you think? Do you want a pony? Do you want UAD 3? What do you want to see in the update to Apollo? I definitely want to see console be, suck less. If console can suck less more often, I'd be a happy camper. But let me know what you're thinking, all right? Leave a comment. Until next time, this is Mark Yoshimoto Nemcoff, fading to black.